Guys, I'm bringing someone special at a WWE retirement. Just for me. The one and only, my frenemy, the master of the Shame Bell, the self-proclaimed greatest host, and one half of the host for the All Elite podcast, Kyle Masters.
Hi, Kimmy. Hello, frenemy.
Are you excited?
I'm excited because I haven't watched WWE in so long, and I'm so excited to do predictions on it. So I can, but I'm going to be objective. I decided today to wear a Bullet Club t-shirt, neither for AEW, neither for WWE. I'm going to be in the middle today.
We see my bias.
Yeah, well, of course you're wearing a Seth Rollins shirt. What else is new?
I only brought 2 Rollins shirts with me to college.
Better question: how many Seth Rollins shirts do you own? That's the better question.
17, 19, including the Shield shirt and his Black and Brave shirt.
Wow. So you're basically like me when in the CM Punk days. I still own. Haven't thrown them out. I have a drawer in like my tucked away in my back like cellar that literally has like 10 or 12 of CM Punk shirts in it. Just all from like WWE Shop, and like even the ones that they didn't sell on WWE Shop, I went nuts on those.
So you have now bought.
You feel. I know how you feel.
Oh, thank you. So you have yet to buy one on Pro Wrestling Tees?
No, there is one I want on Pro Wrestling Tees. I keep forgetting to get. Every time there's a sale, my mind goes blank, and I just go right to shop AEW and like, hey, what can I get there? Maybe you should just join AEW, then I would buy more shirts.
I'll call him and tell him.
All right, you do that. Let me know.
So Phil, bro.
Phil. Sorry, Mr. Punk.
No, you got to do the Mr. Brooks. You got to call him by his real name.
All right, Mr. Brooks. Yeah, let's be respectful here.
Exactly. But we are not here to talk about CM Punk because he went bye-bye.
He's heartbreak, but he's happy now. I guess I can be happy for him.
He's happy with his wife doing comic book stuff.
There you go.
Some UFC stuff. Are you ready to get your Mania on? Okay. Maybe.
I mean, I'm glad they split it up into 2 nights and Mania's not like 18 hours long. That would be nuts.
Well, there's only 12 matches as of right now.
Yeah, but imagine they were all in one night. That's like an hour. Like it's like almost like.
Hey, I was at WrestleMania 35 when there was like 18 matches.
How was that? How tired were you after that Mania?
Well, meaning that I didn't go to school from like Thursday to Monday. And I was so energetic on Tuesday walking in. I'm like, I just went to Mania. Rollins won the title. Life is great. And every teacher was just like, so how was WrestleMania? And I'm like, I don't want to be here. It's my senior year. Get me out of here. But speaking of WrestleMania 35, let's start with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner from 2019, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match in the storyline that nobody cares about.
Hey, I only care about that.
Do you like the train noise? Do you like the train noise?
I hate I'm sorry. The people that like this stuff, I hate the overproduced nonsense that they do. Like the thing, the noise there, or the big graphics that come up on the screen during their engine. I'm not a fan of that. It's just not me. Like, just tone it down with that. And that's fine. Like, I remember when Aleister Black used to be around. I don't know where the hell he is now, but like they ruined his entrance as soon as he came up to the main roster with the stupid you don't need to add that. That's not needed. We know he's just rising out of a coffin. We know what that is. You don't need to make it sound like medieval. It's just not needed. Just overproduced. I do not like the train thing. That ruins the aura of Braun Strowman.
He went from hands to trains. I say it's an elevation of character.
Okay. I have to be objective here. Yes, sure. Elevation of character. I'm kind of shocked as a steel cage match. From what I've seen on my timeline, I was like, ooh, this smells like some sort of overhyped crap match at WrestleMania. It's just gonna be like a goop match or something like that. But steel cage, yeah, that's fun. I mean, Shane McMahon seems like the guy that just, once it comes to WrestleMania, I'll do any kind of match. I'm going to put my body in the line. I'm like 50 years old. I do not care. Because he literally, at 32, we remember he went right right off the steel cage. Or Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell. Come on, Kyle. There's a
I
difference.
guarantee you he's going to go through the cage. Guarantee he will. 100%.
But are they gonna make it out? Is he gonna jump on the pirate ship?
Oh, I don't know. So I read that the ramp is going to be similar to 33. So that's going to be a pretty long ramp to get to the pirate ship. I don't know. That's going to be. So you're going to have some people probably riding down the ramp in cars, I guess. I don't know.
They've done it before. I mean, Sasha Banks, which we will get to, is hopefully the main event of night one. But who are you picking in this pointless match?
So, and again, this is going to be based on timeline reading. I haven't watched WWE in a long time, but I still see it on my timeline. From what I see, it looks like Shane McMahon's been getting the best of Braun Strowman through this whole thing. And I can't see him getting a win over Strowman because that's just like, to me, it just smells like Strowman's going to win somehow. If Shane does win, it's going to be like, he's going to make Braun look like an idiot. Like, maybe Shane's like set up on the cage and Braun's going to like spear him through the cage and Shane ducks out of the way. And then, or maybe like they both go, sorry, I forgot the objective of steel cage match. So maybe they both go through and Shane's the one that falls on the outside first. I can see that happening. I kind of want to say that they won't do something like that. It's kind of like something you say for like a Raw or SmackDown kind of steel cage match. So I'm going to actually say Braun is going to go over in this match over Shane, but Shane's going to have some sort of spot here where, you know, he's got to be remembered for that spot. He's got to have the spotlight somehow. So it's going to be Braun, but Shane's going to have some crazy spot. That's my assumption.
We're starting off on a good foot. You know why?
Why?
Because I agree with you.
Hey, wow.
This is a really rare occurrence.
Good thing this is a recording.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get into fights later. I'm sure of it. But Strowman's WrestleMania track record is just so sad. Because I look at his tag team with Nicholas. I look at the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And then I looked at him just being a filler for Reigns at last year's WrestleMania because of COVID. So I think Strowman gets a huge win here. I don't know if maybe Elias and Jackson Riker are going to get involved because they've been with Shane the past couple of weeks for, again, no reason whatsoever. But I'm going to go with Strowman. I want this more towards the end, like maybe a filler. This match should be the match right before the main event.
Okay.
As like the cool down.
A cool down steel cage match. Oh, interesting. That's something.
Hey, it's WWE. It's 2021. Anything can happen in wrestling.
I was there for the Nicholas thing. I was there in New Orleans, and I was like, "What is this? Like, is this real? Like, is this being filmed right now?" I could not like put. And then when they won it, I'm like, "What?" Hey, and that was the cool down match for that WrestleMania. So maybe Braun's just the king of the cool down matches. So.
He is, because even he didn't main event with Goldberg last year.
Yeah. So
maybe one day he'll get his due.
Maybe he's really pro WWE. So maybe one day.
He is. He's very grateful. Like if you've seen like the documentaries and interviews he's done, he's very grateful for his job, which I do appreciate. But the interesting match I'm very much looking forward to is the New Day.
Oh, okay.
Rollins is next.
Okay.
Don't you worry. New Day versus AJ and Omos. And I'm so excited for this to see Omos debut. Omos. It's O-M-O-S.
You know, I've heard some people pronounce it like almost. And I'm like, is it almost? Like, what's this guy's name?
No, it's because where is he from? I forgot where he's from, but he's like that. Like he was a basketball player, and then he came here. But I'm looking forward to this just because the storyline with this and just the New Day, like, oh, you're not a real team. AJ's just using you, and AJ's like, no, I know him. Then you do the PG Best Friends Challenge, and they're just. Like when I texted you last week and I was like raw booking and you were just like, what happened besides Riddle forgetting his line? And I'm just like,
yeah, that's what I saw. I'm like, I saw a clip in my timeline. I'm like, hey, wait, I watched a clip. I'm like, wait, did Riddle like not know they were live?
I don't even know what happened, but this is just PG. Thank you, Peacock. No, I'm blaming Peacock.
No, Peacock. Yeah, I don't get Peacocks. I don't have a problem with them.
Canadian perks. But I'm thinking AJ and Omos here. I feel like the New Day's really done a lot with the tag team championships. And I feel like after WrestleMania, we're just going to have a refresh, and Raw desperately needs that because they slacken. So AJ and Omos to hopefully bring up some new tag teams the Raw after WrestleMania and reinvent that tag team division. And of course, AJ will become a Grand Slam champion if he wins those tag team titles with Omos next week.
They love all that Grand Slam stuff in WWE, so I can totally see them picking AJ Styles and Omos to go over here. Almost. Has he wrestled before, this guy? Like, I don't recognize.
No, this is his debut at WrestleMania.
I hope it goes well because he's got the size and the look that Vince loves in his wrestlers. He's big, sweaty men. He's one of those guys. So if he can wrestle, man, the sky's the limit for him. So hopefully we'll see some good things out of him. But the one thing I'm looking forward to in this match the most actually is the New Day's gear. They're always like on fleek with their gear at WrestleMania. Like my favorite gear to this day, still the Dragon Ball Z outfits they had. So I'm curious to see what kind of outfits they have. They're going to go crazy. They're going to have a funny entrance. They're already going to have a crazy entrance. Remember 33 with the ice cream cart. So like
32 with the Bootios cereal box.
So like they're always going to have some sort of crazy entrance. So I'm curious to see what their outfits and entrance is going to be like. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest, again, because I've been watching. It'd be cool to see Styles get a Grand Slam, thing behind him because he's been in WWE for so long. He's kind of like, this is like this is the end of his career. This is where he's going to finish off. So to get that Grand Slam in, before he retires is a good thing. So yeah, I can see it. Maybe like a debuting tag team takes the belt off him on the Raw after Mania. We'll see. But I'll agree with you. I'll go with Styles and Omos for sure.
We're 2-0.
We'll see.
I'm scared for the next match. I'm torn. My man. The drip of the drip.
Oh, the drip.
The one and only Seth Rollins taking on Cesaro. I don't know.
This is interesting.
You could go first. I need time.
Okay, so this is interesting because I know WrestleMania is not all going to be about just title matches. But this is not Clash of Champions here. That's what that's meant for. You're going to have a couple of filler one-on-one matches. To me, a Rollins and Cesaro, I think probably would have deserved a longer feud to go into WrestleMania. Like Rollins just got back. And his feud with Cesaro, from what I've seen, is kind of still fresh. And the payoff is already going to be at WrestleMania. I feel like both these guys deserve a longer kind of payoff if they're going to go at it at WrestleMania, especially an event like WrestleMania. So it's a good thing they're putting it in day one, almost in a sense. It still should be a really good wrestling match. Both guys are unreal at wrestling. So it's almost like, I guess in a way, it's almost like a WrestleMania dream match because you kind of want to see both these guys go at it. And they're going to pull off a banger of a match. So I can see them both kind of just talking together and go, yo, we got to blow this out of the water. They're going to reach for match of the night for that night one. So from what I'm looking at the card right now for night one, that actually could be match of the night, 100%. So picking a winner though, God, see, you brought up WrestleMania track records before. Rollins has had his fair share in the spotlight at WrestleMania. So has Cesaro, though. Cesaro, remember when he won the Andre the Giant Memorial? Yes. When he literally scoop slammed Big Show over the ropes, and I remember the crowd going absolutely ape for that. And Rollins cashing in at 31. That's going to be the moment of his entire career. So both these guys have kind of had their little spotlight at WrestleMania. So it's kind of tough to judge a winner here. If I had to pick a winner, though, okay, so I'm going to have to pick Cesaro. Sorry, because
it's okay.
I've been wanting success for Cesaro for so long. This guy should have been world champion by now, and I don't know why he has never been world champion. That literally is beyond me because he has all the traits to become a world champion, to be a world champion. He can talk in the mic. He's good in the ring. Why can't he become a world champion? What is missing here? Even if it's a small run for a couple of months and you drop it to Reigns, why has Cesaro not been a world champion? I don't get it. So I feel to keep him around, he just didn't. There was that thing. There was that rumor that he was going to leave and he re-signed. Maybe they're like, hey, we'll give you a win at WrestleMania. Then Rollins has been around long enough that he could be the one to still have a good match and look good, but give the rub to Cesaro. So I'm gonna go with my boy Cesaro swing, Mr. Cesaro. The Milan, no, not the Milan Miracle. That was Santino. What was
the Swiss Superman?
Yeah, but he had like an original nickname. I'm talking about like the first when Cesaro first got here.
Oh, the man of 5 languages?
Yeah, that was my favorite Cesaro. When he came out with the red coat, he did like that thing, and he had that really good theme song that everyone loves.
And he had Oksana.
Yeah, it was a good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go Cesaro. I'm sorry to pick against your boy here. I wonder who Kimmy's gonna pick.
No. Okay, so I'm scared here for a lot of reasons because Rollins has only lost one time at WrestleMania, which was last year against your Canadian boy Kevin Owens.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Yes, right over there. And to me, I'm like, what is Rollins going to do after this? That's my thing, because I want him to be the one to take the title off Reigns, but I know he needs to turn face for that to happen. But I like him in this spot right now.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, if Cesaro does get the win, is he going to go into a possible title picture here? Maybe this is going to elevate him? I do agree. Ring of Honor won the week. I said this last night on Rob's podcast. Gabe Sapolsky, I hope you're really proud right now because two of your matches are on WrestleMania. You've made a game. I don't know. I'm so scared. Rollins, I'm really sorry. I'm taking Cesaro.
Hey, on Rollins. I got you.
You said you weren't going to shame me.
That's for Rollins, because Rollins is doing that right now.
Yeah, I know.
That was Rollins.
I sent it to you.
We're telepathic, me and Rollins. That's what he told me to do, so don't blame me.
So you're a supporter of hashtag Rollins shaming?
Yes.
But I will say, I'm excited for Rollins' gear because I'm hoping Troy, who makes...
What was that? What was he wearing yesterday? What was that?
The cotton candy sunset?
I was like, what wardrobe did you raid to get that? Where did you go to find that? What store does one go to find something like that?
Okay, so did you see when Becky and Rollins did their when they did the pregnancy shoot?
I think so.
So the dude that takes those pictures, his name is Troy. That's Rollins' personal stylist, where he gets all these suits from.
Well, there we go. He's got a personal stylist. Anyway,
good job, Troy.
Picking Cesaro.
I'm not happy about it. I know Bill's gonna say something to me on Wednesday about picking against Rollins. My heart really hurts right now. Don't know how I'm gonna continue.
Yikes! Hey, at least you're showing that even as a big, huge fan of Seth Rollins, you can pick against him on pay-per-view. So that's showing a lot from you. Right? You're not just gonna always go with the bias pick every single time.
I know, but now I feel like Rollins is gonna win. Now I picked against him.
Nope. Just stick with your pick, Kimmy. Stick with it. You've written it down. We're moving on.
I did. I circled it. How excited are you that Bad Bunny gets a singles match at WrestleMania?
Okay. I know there's going to be a lot of people going to be mad at me for this.
Oh, I hate Bad Bunny too. Don't worry.
I don't know anything about Bad Bunny. Even when he first showed up, I'm like, who is this? I'm like, I had no idea. Like, I watched the clip in my time of him performing. Was it the Rumble that he performed? I'm like, I didn't understand a word he just said. Like, who is this? And he's been showing up on wrestling. He's been winning the 24/7 belt. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I thought he was literally just like a performance center guy. And I'm like, oh, he's doing a singing gimmick. Sure. Why not? I don't know. I mean, this is a weird way for Damian Priest to debut at Mania. It's like, this is going to go down as his WrestleMania debut. He's not really wrestling. I mean, I don't know. This is because if Bad Bunny wins, it doesn't go on Damian Priest's record. So I guess it's not really his debut. But
the reason it's not a tag match is because him and Morrison both have lingering injuries right now.
Okay.
So the original plan was the tag team match. I know it's something with Morrison's knee. I don't know what's wrong with Priest, but they both have staggering injuries. They were like, "Oh, we'll just do Bad Bunny and The Miz in the singles match," and I'm like,
this should be just like, this should probably be the cool down match. I'm sorry, you said the steel cage match. This is probably going to be the cool down match, 100%. Like, there's no way this is going to be like the first match of the night or second match. Like, no, this is the cool down match. This is like, who gives an F? Like, I'm sorry to the people that love Bad Bunny and go nuts. And he's got all these millions of followers, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about that. I care about what I'm watching. Cool. He's got 40 million followers. What does that do for me watching the in-ring product? Nothing. So I don't know. Sure. I'm going to pick Bad Bunny to go over on Miz at WrestleMania because it's something they would do in this company. So I'm going to pick Bad Bunny. That's all I got to say about this match.
so my best friend is this is story time. So my best friend's a huge Bad Bunny fan. So she sent me the TikTok of Bad Bunny at the Rumble. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Oh, don't you worry. I'll text you in a couple weeks." And she goes, "Why?" I go, "Wait for it. Look, Nada, Bad Bunny's wrestling at WrestleMania." Oh my God. I'm like, "No, this is really bad. Like, I'm not even going to record the match for you. Like, no, I'll just text you when he wins." But I guess the thing is because he was on SNL with that 24/7 championship, he did win a Grammy. So that's like new viewers to tune into WrestleMania on Peacock, even though you get your network up in Canada. And I'm
still
stuck
think
here.
It's such a weird name for a network. I'm sorry. Peacock. I saw someone like censor the O on their logo because they were censoring everything. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Rollins calls it the Peacock. He puts the in front of it, and I'm like, no, Rollins. It's just Peacock. But celebrities don't lose in matches. I don't think there's ever been a time where a celebrity has lost in a match. Fact check me. Am I right?
I don't like. I remember the last time I remember a celebrity at WrestleMania. Off the top of my head, I remember like when Snooki was there and they won that match. I remember when
Maria Menounos.
Floyd Mayweather won against Big Show. I'm pretty sure. These are just matches. Like, I'm sure I understand the business side of it, but I don't care for them. I could miss it and not care.
I'm gonna have to go with Bad Bunny because celebrities don't lose.
Great.
And we'll see Bad Bunny in the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame in 5 years. Don't you worry.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm gonna jump to the match I believe is going to kick off the night, which is Bobby and Drew.
Really?
I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that Sasha and Bianca are going to main event.
Yeah, it kind of sucks for the WWE title though, man. I feel like the WWE title doesn't get enough spotlight over the last since I've stopped watching. Even when I was like currently sort of watching back then, they don't really treat that title the way it should be treated. There's so much lineage with it and history with it. They kind of just put it on the back burner half the time. Like, why is a universal title more over than the WWE title? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because the writer on Raw doesn't know how to use championships.
But what's up? What happened? I didn't see this. I need you to explain to me because you watched. Why did the Hurt Business split up? What's up with that?
So basically, it was Bobby versus Sheamus, and they were on the end. Sheldon and Cedric were on the outside, and they were like cheering him on, whatever. And MVP's like, what are y'all doing here? I told you guys to go to the back. And so Bobby challenged them to beat up Drew in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Drew won, and Bobby's like, you guys can't get the job done. And like, this is going into why Corbin is on Raw. I don't understand. So he challenged the locker room, was like, if anyone could beat down Drew, then I'll give you the title match at Mania. And then he basically kicked them out because he couldn't do the dirty work.
This is Bobby Lashley with MVP, so they're still together, right? Okay.
Yes. So according to MVP, they're still looking for new members of the Hurt Business.
Okay. So that's tough. If he said that kind of actually makes an impact on this match, or else I would have said Drew McIntyre is going over for sure because, he didn't get his moment. His moment was supposed to be at last WrestleMania, but there was no crowd. So I would have said for sure, this is going to be the WrestleMania to make up for it. But if he says that, it kind of makes me think if they're looking at still adding members that Bobby Lashley is going to go over, and then we're going to see those new members on Raw the next night, or on the Monday, the Raw after Mania. It's going to be like a couple people from NXT or something. So I don't know, but I kind of want to still stick with my original thought that McIntyre is going to go over because he didn't get his chance last year, and they kind of want to make up for that. And if they open, that's a great way to open up WrestleMania and get the crowd hot, is to have Drew McIntyre have his spot in the sun. So, and it's probably going to be sunny at that point if they're opening Mania. So, coincidentally, yeah. Well, it'd probably be like dusk, maybe. I don't know. I can't really because they're splitting this up. I've never seen outside WrestleMania split up before, so who knows when they're going to start. So I'll pick Drew going over on Bobby Lashley. If that's the opener for sure. If it's not, I can't change my pick. I'm still going to pick Drew. But if it's not the opener, I can guarantee you that Bobby Lashley is probably going to go over and retain.
So the only reason I'm going to say it's going to open is because they've been saying now for like the past couple of days that they're not going to have a pre-show match on night one because they want that first person that's going to come out to get all that, to get the pop.
Live crowd pop, yeah.
So I'm like, it makes so much sense for it to be Drew. And yes, and it makes sense.
What if they opened up with Rollins and Cesaro and your boy is the one to get the first cheer?
Oh, I'll be so happy. But I don't see that happening, though. I would love it, but I don't see it happening because it makes so much more sense to do that. And then because everyone's been trending on it for a month for Sasha and Bianca. So, you gave Drew and Bobby have their thing, and then the girls have their moment at the end. Happy Mania fans. But I want Bobby to have his moment, and I feel so bad because I do agree that Drew is going to win. We're on the same page. Stop agreeing with me.
I'm just thinking logically here, and I'm putting myself in the writing room because I know exactly what they're thinking in that writing room.
They're thinking we have 7 days left and we have no idea what we're doing.
On the day of.
Hey, it's happened. But
I know.
I got to go with Drew here just because he didn't get his moment. Hopefully, you're right with the new Hurt Business stuff because it looks like Baron Corbin may or may not be in there because Baron Corbin was the one who beat up Drew last Monday.
That's a good way to get people not to give a shit about the Hurt Business.
Well, MVP's like, Baron Corbin's not on the Hurt Business. And I'm like, then why did he go to Raw? Who's going there? Who's going to SmackDown? Like, logic here. But I'll go with Drew. Hopefully we get another match out of this. I'm assuming it's Extreme Rules.
Or Backlash.
Whichever way you want to go. But my other thing is, and this is the reason I don't want to main event night one, we saw this at Backlash last year, and it was not even the main event.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Edge and Orton.
It's a shame that they don't put so much stock in their main championship. I find it extremely weird. I don't know if that's just because, AEW treats their world title like an actual world title, but like the WWE Championship should be your world title, and that should be like the lineage. That's what you advertise with, not your Universal Fruit Roll-Up Championship. That shouldn't be it.
Hey, it's blue now.
I don't like colored belts like that. Okay, let me scratch that. I like the black belts, right? White belts work occasionally with it, the proper, and it kind of is, it's always the Intercontinental belt because it always kind of works with it. I don't like any other color belts. You can't, like red, blue, green, whatever.
So you don't like the TNT title with the red?
It's black now.
Well, did you like it when
originally?
It was red?
I didn't think of it as a world. Like it didn't feel like a big title. I know what they're going for with the TNT belt because it's they want a TNT champion. Like it's basically their TV belt without saying it's their TV belt. So it looks a lot better now with the black belt. I'm trying to word this. I was a fan. I wasn't a fan at the same time with the TNT belt. But with the Universal belt, I'm like, it looks exactly like the WWE belt, but with a different strap color. I'm like, hey, if you're going to have two like big belts, make them both look different. Why are they both looking the same?
Well, with the potential winner, we might be bringing back an old championship.
An old championship? Well,
if Edge wins, wouldn't you think?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't think they bring back that belt's never coming back. That John Cena looking belt is never coming back. That's in the Hall.
No, not the spinner. The world heavyweight one.
Oh, that would be sweet. I wouldn't mind that. That belt. It's tough to tell, Kimmy. I would love that, but I can't see them doing it because of how they treat their current WWE championship. It's just I'm done getting my hopes up anymore from this company. So I just think about what they're gonna do and just accept it.
So when it happens, if it happens, I'll just text you. I'll be like, I told you.
Go ahead.
And with our hopeful main event for night one, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belaire. I'm so excited. This is the first time two African-American women have battled for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. So let's add some more historic here and make it the main event of night one. This is one I'm also kind of torn on too, because I like Sasha's reign right now. I like that she turned heel. I feel like it helps the story. The build for this, when you entered it into the Women's Tag Team Championship match, why? Titles should be split. Why do we do this?
You're missing the biggest part of it all.
What?
Has Sasha Banks even won at WrestleMania?
No.
What's the biggest criticism with her? With
that she always loses within her first title reign.
So she's definitely not dropping the belt. Absolutely not. But this match is exciting because it's been a long time coming. As soon as I seen Bianca Belaire in NXT, that very, very first time, I'm like, her and Sasha Banks got to face each other eventually. 100%. They're both the same style. They have the same aura. It's not really the same gimmick, but it kind of the same feels. I'm like, they got to face each other at least once. I was hoping Sasha would probably come back to NXT and have a match at TakeOver or something. I'm glad they're doing it at WrestleMania now for a main championship. That's the one thing too. I'm going to be a little bit of a stickler here. I don't like it how there's two women's championships. Do not like that. That just, it kind of like, it's the same as the men though. I understand that side of it because the men have two world championships. They have the WWE and the Universal. But the fact that they call it, I hate the name of it, like a SmackDown Women's Championship and Raw Women's Championship. That just it kind of like drops it down the totem pole a little bit for me. I'd rather than do like a WWE Women's Championship and do a Women's Universal Championship. Kind of keep it the same as the men. If you're going to talk about equality and everything, why don't you just do the same as the men? Right? If you don't really care about the names of your championship, clearly 24/7 belt, you can do a women's world championship and a women's universal championship. Like, I think this whole SmackDown, like the branded championships, down on a totem pole for me. Don't like, it doesn't feel the same, but since they treat it as a world title, it's going to be in a main event. It's almost certain that this is the main event. Sasha and Bianca are going to have a banger of a match. Both are so good in the ring. I think Sasha's the best women's wrestler in the world, to be honest. Like 100% out of any women's wrestler in the world, Sasha Banks is my number one. So, and that's why, it goes into it that I'm picking her over Bianca Belaire, but I'm also picking her over Bianca Belaire because Sasha has had multiple opportunities to leave this company because she's been unhappy. Why would you want to continue to make her unhappy and not give her WrestleMania moment? She should have had the WrestleMania moment at 32 because that should have been when she should have won because that was bullshit. I don't know how she didn't win that. Sorry if I'm swearing here, but like, it's
fine.
I was so mad when she didn't win that WrestleMania. I was angry because that was like, hey, they set her up. They did the whole, they started the whole documentary series where they're like crying in the car and her passion about women's wrestling. They had the epic entrance with Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, how did she not win? The Eddie Guerrero outfit, like, how did she not win? No, because Charlotte Flair, woo! They got to give her every single thing in the book because her dad was there. Sasha Banks deserves her WrestleMania moment by now. What the hell? Why has she not had it by now? So I think this is it. She's going to main event a WrestleMania. They're giving that to her, so she's going to win it. So, and she deserves it, rightfully so. Bayley's going to want to take the title off her eventually. I guarantee it's going to be Bayley.
I disagree.
Okay, let me hear it.
Okay, so I just feel that Sasha has, because I don't know what's going to happen, like the Raw and SmackDown after, right? Because I don't know who's moving up, if anyone's moving up at all, if we're just going to keep everyone down NXT. But I feel like we've seen Sasha versus so many people on that roster, especially with half the SmackDown women's division going into the tag team title match. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'll give you a debriefer here. It looks like it's going to be a 6-way tag team championship match.
So much they care about those belts. Those belts were a bad idea. Bad idea.
Oh, you have to check out my podcast yesterday. I ranted about the tag team title.
Look at my podcast yesterday. I talked about it.
I did. I ranted to Rob. But I just feel like with Bianca, you could have so many more feuds. You could have Bayley come back because Bayley's not on the card at all. Bayley's been gone from TV for the past couple weeks. I don't know if it's because she's dealt with a lot of stuff like personally, and they're giving her the break, and then she comes back, challenges Bianca, and then that's the match at Backlash. And you could have her versus Carmella and all these people, and you could help elevate the women's division a little bit more. And I feel like she was so emotional in her Rumble victory that it just carries over to Mania. And I agree that Sasha needs a WrestleMania moment, but I still feel like deep down it's going to be with Bayley at a WrestleMania main event in a 30-woman Iron Man match. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I feel like that would be her WrestleMania moment and her beating Bayley in the main event. So I'm going with Bianca Belair.
If Bianca wins, I guarantee you one thing. Sasha's going back to NXT. I'm telling you right now.
Ooh.
I think maybe that's why she keeps tweeting, "Thank you, Vince McMahon," because Vince is letting her go back down.
Ooh, I like that. Because then you have that goes.
Because there's so many, I guarantee there's so many women's wrestlers down there she wants to have matches with so bad. So like
that fits everything I said yesterday on Rob's podcast. Thank you.
So if Bianca wins, I'm calling it right now. Sasha's going back to NXT.
See, even if we're in different countries,
she'll show up on the first NXT after Mania too. She'll show up
April 13th when they move to Tuesday.
Yep. So
let's go to the U.S. Championship with Rollins' favorite wrestler. Yes, night 2. We made it.
Yeah.
So let's start with Rollins' favorite wrestler, Riddle, versus Sheamus. I mean, they say they squashed their beef, but I saw that black eye you gave him at the Rumble. I saw it. I'm intrigued as to why Sheamus is in this U.S. Championship match, just because I feel like you've hinted it for so long that like Sheamus was going to get into the title picture somehow because he was feuding with Drew so much. And that's why I would have rather had Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania and then have Edge versus, I don't know who, Randy. I think I said Randy initially because that's what was supposed to happen last year. But I'm going to go with Riddle just to have his WrestleMania moment, and then hopefully Keith Lee takes the title off him at Backlash.
I would have booked this a completely different way. I haven't been following it, but for what I've seen through my timeline over the last couple of months, why isn't Shinsuke Nakamura facing Riddle for the U.S. title?
Because he's on SmackDown.
Oh, is this the U.S. title on Raw?
Yeah.
That's much I watch. Then we want to move them over. They don't care about moving brands. Like, people show up on each brand anyways. So like that, why is Nakamura on this card? Weren't they like
ready? So WrestleMania is technically 3 days, and the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal is on Friday on SmackDown, and he's in that. Aleister Black is not in the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Get the hell out of that company, man. You go back to Japan because you're getting wasted away. Unless he's content just making money and ending riding to the sunset. If not, buddy, like, God, leave that company. He's been so mistreated since day one on the main roster. Well, maybe like he had in the beginning, it was mixed, but like now it's just like they just back in January, it's like they build him back up. Oh, we're gonna push Nakamura, and then all of a sudden he just disappears again. It's like, what's going on here? Why did they? This guy came from Japan as like the most highly touted like signing in the WWE when he showed up in NXT and all those crazy. This guy can have look at all his NXT matches. Look at like Joe Bellaire. Like look at all of them. Those matches were stellar.
Zayn in his debut,
and they hold him back so much. I'm like, why? This guy can print you money. They care too much about one genre of their fan base that it's ruining some of the people that are there. So. I don't know. So, okay, because if Nakamura's not on Raw, then let me just look at it like this. I don't know. I don't even know how Riddle became U.S. champion. He's U.S. champion. Good for him. And, maybe I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know, because like in NXT, he was all right, but for some reason, the WWE kind of seems like he's getting lost in the fold and he's now forgetting lines. And it's just like, I don't know what's going on with him. And now they kind of making him too silly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's supposed to be like this whole like vibing kind of guy, and clearly he smokes the wacky tobacco. That's his game. But like, there's a level like they making him more like main roster silly than what he was in NXT. In NXT, there was a silliness that was there, but he backed it up when he got into the ring and he looked great. Here it's just like, I feel like you're focusing too much on the entertainment. But whatever. It's just me again. It's me just babbling along
It's
here.
okay.
I was just gonna pick Riddle to retain. Why not?
Keith Lee, please save us.
I don't know what's going on with him. From what I've read, they're not really too happy with him, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, the last my friend said to me, because he had COVID and he had health issues relating to COVID, like his oxygen is still like not up there.
That sucks.
So I don't know how true that is, but I do know that's something that might relate to it. I know they were going to try to send him down to the PC. I'm just like, bro.
I don't know about this match because I've been looking when I look at my timeline, I've seen Sheamus and Drew going at it. Now I'm looking at this going, okay, why is he facing Riddle? So I kind of agree with you there. I'm like, what is going on here?
Like I said it on the Fastlane review. I was like, oh my God, Sheamus and Riddle is going to wrestle each other. Watch. The next night, I was like, are you watching my videos, WWE? Hi.
I don't know.
Hey, so Riddle won the title because there was a triple threat between Bobby, him, and then Morrison, and then Riddle pinned Morrison. So he didn't pin Bobby. And now Bobby's.
I'm still sticking with Riddle. Sure. Retain.
Oh, I know. I'm informing you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's move on to our second celebrity, Logan Paul, because he's with Sami Zayn wrestling Kevin Owens as Logan Paul's going to ruin this match. Kevin Owens, I hope you powerbomb Logan Paul off the pirate ship.
Do it in the beginning, please. Like, don't. Adding Logan Paul just ruined everything this match could be. Exactly. So much. And this is why I have a problem when stuff gets transitioned from NXT to the main roster so much, because they don't care about the history between these two. They'll say it, oh, there's all this history, blah, 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 blah. But they don't give a shit in the end. Clearly, they added Logan Paul doesn't need to be in this match. The feud itself writes this match. These two have fought in forever. You could have just labeled this the Fight Forever match, stuck him in a 30-minute Iron Man match, and people would have been like, fine, good, great. Why don't tune in? Let's watch that. Logan Paul doesn't need to be there. Why? What does Logan Paul do for Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens? These are not two people that nobody knows about. Stick Logan Paul with they're already doing Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, but you could have stuck in Logan Paul, I don't know, with maybe you could have been with Riddle. Maybe Logan Paul would have came out with Matt Riddle. That would have been funny. Those two doing like a funny like entrance together. That could have been cool. I would have been okay with that. What if F is Logan Paul with Sami Zayn? He doesn't need to be here. And the fact that they've paid for him to be here is another story, which I don't want to rant about because that sickens me because of all the budget cuts that they've done and all the good people they must have let go to bring Logan Paul in. That's a load of, what? Hopefully, so I'm praying, faint hands together, that Logan Paul gets taken out very early in this match so we actually can get what everyone wants out of this match. And I really hope they do and get the time, because if not, looking at the card right now for night 2, this is your cooldown match. This is your cooldown match. And unfortunately, you're gonna have a lot of unhappy campers about this. So it's a shame, unless the Nigerian drum fight, which I'm scared to get into next year. But that's where
I was going next. I'm scared for it too.
So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, if Logan Paul doesn't get taken out very early on, I'm talking like within the first 5 minutes, you're getting a cooldown. So if this is the cooldown match, like if all the other matches have happened and there's only 2 matches left and this is one of them, best be prepared for Logan Paul to stick around for that entire match. And you're going to have the people in the crowd, I want to call them what I want to call them, but those people are going to be like, woo! And cheer for no matter what, because they watch the product twice a year and they cheer for anything. But I really hope they don't. Like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have had bangers in the past, like really good matches. So I hope they get the time. So if I had to pick a winner, obviously, I'm going to pick my boy Kevin Owens.
So this is interesting to me. I don't like that they put Logan Paul in this. I've seen their matches live in Ring of Honor where they had a 45-minute intermission because Owens really hurt Zayn. I was there. So I've seen this. And it breaks my heart because, like I said, Ring of Honor won the league. Gabe Zapolsky, you made it. And Logan Paul just ruins this. Like, I would say Owens and Zayn and Rollins and Cesaro have the potential to be the matches of Mania. But now you can't do that with Logan Paul.
No.
Like, this documentary conspiracy crap didn't need Logan Paul.
Sami Zayn looks so weird now. His hair
Did
and his
you-
beard and what he looked like yesterday. I was like, what is that? What is
Did you
he
see
looks like
him
a freaking
dancing?
penis. Like what? Oh, I seen that. That's great. That's funny. It fit like that's just his personality. Like that's all him. But like his heel personality. Like I remember when Kevin Owens and him were like team, like when they were like KO and like when they were teaming together, and like there's that one Raw where they came out in their hometown. And he was acting goofy, but you're still getting like he's still getting a pop because obviously they're in their hometown. But yeah, I don't know. I hope it doesn't ruin it too much, but you never know with these
I'm
things.
hoping that Owens pulls what he did to Machine Gun Kelly, just power bombs him.
Do it in the beginning of his entrance, like.
Well,
like let Sami Zayn come out first, and then Kevin Owens come down and just beat the crap out of Logan Paul, like right before the bell rings. Like,
well,
please.
Owens did push Logan Paul on SmackDown.
Whoa.
So don't. So there's your hint in there. But I'm gonna go with Owens as well. Build his momentum up to be 2-0. No, not 2-0. 2 in however many losses this man has had at WrestleMania.
You know what's funny? For such a big fan of Kevin Owens, I don't own one KO Mania shirt. Like
You have to. Did you see the new one they put out? The new one's nice.
Did they? Is it still? Does it still play off the WrestleMania logo? Okay, so I've been meaning to like go on eBay and try to get them collected, even if it's not my shirt size. I just want them, so I've been meaning to do that. I got to get on that because the KO Mania shirts are awesome.
They are. I like them. But KO Mania strikes again. I'm going with Owens. Now, someone please tell me what the hell a Nigerian drum fight is.
I
know you don't know
because I don't want to say the wrong things.
I believe
in this day and age, I don't want to say the wrong things. All I'm going to say is I don't know why they're doing this to Apollo Crews. I don't know. Maybe I need to be watching for me to like it. I'm looking at going, okay, sure. I don't know what a Nigerian drum fight is. It sounds like the when they have holiday type matches on like Raw and SmackDown, and like on Christmas there's like gifts all around the ring and they're beating the crap out of each other with them, and like Thanksgiving they're throwing pies at each other. This kind of sounds something like that, unless it's gonna be very intense and they're gonna be like drums with spikes on them or something. I don't know, but I don't know this one because it's their IC title. I mean, I like the old look of the IC title. Like I have it back there. Like this IC title is always going to be my favorite. I don't like the new design. I know it's more modern take on it. Some people are for it. Not a fan. If it was like a white strap, maybe I'd be okay with it, but I'm still not a fan. Well, Big E, Apollo gets the belts. Like I could see it. Sure, they do. If they're doing this whole, like if they're putting all their stock in this Nigerian thing with him, I can see him holding on to the belt if they want to use it to transcend Apollo Crews. Sure. If they're not, and this is just a thing for him, then Big E's going to retain. So I'll go with my gut. I think Apollo's going to win. I think if they're putting a lot of stock in Apollo from what I see in my timeline, so I'm going to say Apollo wins the belt here, and then the belt kind of helps him transcend whatever gimmick he's trying to get over.
I don't like the new Apollo too. I agree with you. I like the heel turn. I don't like this Nigerian stuff. I feel like it doesn't fit him. I believe how they describe the Nigerian drum fight though. It's like no DQ. They're like anything goes, and I'm like, then why?
It'll be like 4 drums at ringside, and that'll be it.
I'm like, then why don't you just call it a no DQ? I was literally like on Twitter, like looking, and I'm like, what? I had to look up from my phone. I was like, what? I believe the reason they did the screwed up finish of Fastlane was for Apollo to get his moment in Mania and to get Big E to hopefully verse the winner of our main event at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. And I feel like Big E dropping the belt here, building him up to potentially wrestle Reigns at SummerSlam is the way you got to go here. So I'm agreeing with you, and I'm picking Apollo Crews.
Okay, sure.
Let's see. What simulation is The Fiend and Randy Orton going to have?
So far, it's just a single. So this is going to be interesting for many things, but for one, the most important thing that this is going to be interesting is because this is the first time that I'd lie. So The Fiend has appeared in a live crowd, but this is going to be like the first time.
This version of The Fiend with Alexa.
Yeah, with Alexa is going to be the first time in front of a live crowd. And so far, what we've seen out of this has all been cinematic and pre-taped. So I don't know how they're going to do that with a regular live match. They're going to have to be very clever as hell. I really hope they don't do what they did at 33 because that was the lamest shit I've ever seen my entire life. I remember I was watching in a movie theater and I was like, what am I watching? Like, why are they projecting worms and weird crap on the ring that's like doing nothing to the wrestlers? Like, I would have laughed even harder if Randy Orton just started like shaking after the projection. I would have been like, what is this? I don't know what's going to happen in this. If they stay away from the projection, please do. Just stay away from anything projected. I can see The Fiend having a really, really cool entrance. I'm so curious to see how his entrance is. A big time WrestleMania entrance, like with his type of character. That's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of production in that. So again, yeah, I'm interested to see how they do a match. Is there going to be a stipulation added maybe before? Are they going to do... I'd love for them to do like an Inferno match. That would be dope because it kind of just fits.
They did that already.
But like a live crowd Inferno, like the real type of Inferno.
Oh, because I was going to say
Taker and Kane style, fire around the ring.
Okay, so not what they did at TLC 2019. I mean, not 2019, 2020.
Like do a real Inferno match. Or it's just do something. Like it's got to be sick. If it's just a singles match, it's like, like do you even really care at that point? They put a lot of stock into this clearly with what they've done. So I don't know if it's tough to like predict this because we actually don't know if they're even going to add something to this. So I think the Fiend gets his revenge though on Randy Orton. I think the Fiend goes over at Mania and he defeats him. So that's my guess. So
I was under the assumption we were going to do Firefly Funhouse. Because I feel like with Orton, that would have been so interesting to just go through like all the hardships he's had with like his inner demons and then do the Legend Killer. And it would have been so cool to see because when you did it with Cena last year, it was so funny to me. I was just laughing the entire time. It's tough
to do something like that with a live crowd, especially with that many people.
I know. That's why
I know it like AEW's done it, but they haven't had that big of a crowd to do it in front of.
That's why I was getting into why that won't happen. I was gonna say.
Sorry. The floor is
Rollins told me to do that. But because there's over 25,000 people there, even though it's not sold out yet, as of a week before, it's not sold out. But I'm gonna go with the Fiend.
Oh, it's sold out. They'll sell it out, and then the rest of the seats will be covered in cardboard, so it'll be sold out.
Okay.
80,000 screaming people here, including the cardboards. They're screaming.
The WWE math logic.
Have they said they're going to do cardboard cutouts? Like, have they even like?
I know when they had the Super Bowl, they had people there to see how they did it, and they were saying that the cardboard cutouts didn't look that bad, but they have not said if it is definitely going to happen.
I think it's going to look weird without them because you're going to have pods everywhere, and it's not going to look like a WrestleMania. I think you're going to have cardboard cutouts in between pods to make it look like a full crowd. You want to at least look good on TV. So
and Peacock.
Peacock. Maybe they'll test it out on night one. If it doesn't look good, they'll take them out for night two.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go with the Fiend here in whatever stipulation we're going to add. I don't know. Maybe they do something crazy with Alexa and get Alexa in there somehow because, Alexa did defeat Randy Orton at Fastlane. But I'm going to go with the Fiend. I'm going to agree with you. And I'm really hoping they put a stipulation on this because if it's just a boring singles match, I'm going to be really disappointed because this feud has gone on since like the end of November. And it's April.
Yikes.
And now in the real cool down match, Asuka versus Rio Ripley.
You think this is the cool down match?
Yeah, with the way they've been treating Asuka.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been seeing, so I don't know.
Okay, so here's a little statistical fact. Do you know the last time the Raw Women's Championship was defended?
Nope.
Clash of Champions on the pre-show against Zelina Vega.
When was this?
In September of 2020.
Wow. So Rhea's coming in and beating Asuka 100% then. So poor Asuka has now had 2 WrestleMania moments and she should have won. It is not going to win. She should have beat Charlotte at 34, and now she should have come in here and at least defended the belt at WrestleMania. She's going to drop it to Rhea Ripley. Oh, boy.
So do you see why this is going to be the cool down match?
This could be like this could be like I can see this might being a Goldberg Lesnar moment here. This match is going to end like the first 5 seconds.
Well, they're teaming together on Monday to wrestle Shayna and Nia.
I hate when they do that. By the way, I hate when any wrestling company, not just WWE, when wrestling companies stick the opponents together in a tag team, don't do that. That's so stupid. Like, I don't like when people do that.
Like, I'm telling you, when I text you on Monday how mad I was about how Raw was booked, it was because they said that this was going to happen, because they literally just did it on SmackDown. Everyone hated it, and they're like, let's do it on Monday. No. I get very angry when it comes to WWE. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, Rio Ripley for sure. Duh. This is how they're booking it.
Rio Ripley comes in, gets a WrestleMania moment that she should have had last year. She not killed Asuka, but very much defeats her, and then revamps the whole Raw Women's division because Raw needs help.
Good luck. That's all I got to say is good luck. All your great women are in NXT, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So
then I want you to watch the podcast from last night and just see my theory on EO, because I said that EO should move to Raw.
And Hunter is not letting her go anytime soon. I'm telling you that right now. There's no way she's going anywhere right now. She's staying in NXT for a bit.
But Raw needs
I'm sorry.
help.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the women. They don't.
I know that, but I care.
EO's not going to do anything. She's going to go up there and she's going to get booked horribly. So it's like, you can put the best woman on Raw, but it's not going to change the division. The problem is with the bookers. That's the problem.
Bruce Pritchard, please leave.
You can have a men's roster of like 10 of the best wrestlers in the world. You can have like Cole, Styles, Omega, like Okada. You can have all of them on one roster, but if they're not booked properly, it still doesn't look good. It doesn't mean anything. So it's the booking. So that's the problem with their women's division. They don't have someone booking it properly. They have someone booking it that's like, we'll just stick these two together. That's good enough. Look what they're doing. They put Asuka and Rhea Ripley together with no build for a main title.
Well, the issue was Charlotte had COVID.
Asuka's going to lose either way.
Oh, I know. I'm just telling you. That's why this was booked this way.
And Charlotte would get booed out of that building. So
that's why
it's a good thing she's not in it.
The reason why she hasn't been on WWE television, but there's other speculations as to why that also happened. Thank you.
You signed his contract. And she's like, I'm so happy for you. Because she's got to leave soon, too.
Saw that, too.
She's gone soon, I guarantee you.
I said it. Not the AEW, though.
No. She can go to I guarantee, she should do? She should leave and go to Stardom or something, and just show up in somewhere random and just go nuts with the people there. Look what B did. Look, Bea Priestley. She went over to Stardom and she became a massive star over there. Charlotte's already a star in her own mind, but she could probably go to Stardom and go nuts there, or show up on Impact. That would people go freaking ape for that. But I don't think Impact has to. Not to make fun of Impact, but I don't think Impact has the money to do that.
I wish I had a microphone to do that.
So in a way, it almost has to be AEW, though, because Tony Khan's got an unlimited bank account. So. $89
million.
Oh, trust me, no.
I know.
They advertise that, but if you go to Tony Khan's banking info and it says account balance, it's got the infinity logo. There's no number. It's just infinity logo because he constantly prints money, that guy. So anyways,
main event.
This is, I don't know.
I
added Daniel Bryan. I'm like, why? It was the story.
The actual reason?
Why?
Because they think Edge looks old.
Wait, what?
So the reports coming out is that WWE thinks Edge looks really old.
He is old.
So they want to put a fresher face in there because apparently Bryan looks really young. But then my response to this is, do you look at Tommaso Ciampa in NXT who looks like he's 65 years old?
Damian Priest, he looks very young. No shit, because he's very young.
Like they had Edge
This
die.
new to them? Like, did they think they went in a time machine and grabbed Edge from 2004?
Edge had to dye his beard. It's not gray anymore. It's brown.
Yo, he's losing it. He is losing his head. My God. He's in it because he's old. They're pointing down right because he's old. Oh, we'll be Italian for a second here. Manage.
I'm crying. So Bill and I have gone through so many things that could happen here. Because I'm like, okay, Reigns obviously isn't getting the pin, so someone's gonna pin or submit Bryan, right? Makes sense.
Roman Reigns ain't losing.
I know, but I'm gonna tell you the many theories I have with this. Because I'm like, okay, Daniel Bryan's gonna retire at the end of the year. One last Mania moment.
He is? Oh, news to me.
Hi, my name is Kimmy Sokol, and I'm your WWE News correspondent for Kyle Masters.
Thank you.
No problem. So my thing is, okay, because he's been saying it too, like every week, like, this is my last Mania moment. This is it. So, like, okay, one last Mania moment for you to win. Okay. And then I'm like, Edge, how are you going to have Edge lose? Like, he won the Rumble, and he just turned heel, and, like, the Radar Superstar is back. But then, how are you going to have Reigns lose? Like, you're putting yourself in such a hard situation because no matter what kind of combination you have, whatever it is, so let's just say Reigns pins Bryan, Reigns and Edge are going to wrestle at the next pay-per-view. Because Edge is going to say it's not fair.
Yeah, so that's probably going to happen.
So whatever combination you have in this, it's going to happen again. So
you're putting it's either going to be Roman pinning Bryan or Edge pinning Bryan. That's how it's going to go down. Bryan ain't winning. If Bryan wins, I'll be shocked as hell. I'll be like, what, and why?
So I don't know. Because then the other thing too, I was thinking about this last night at SmackDown. I'm like, this reminds me so much of like Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky. Because I'm like, okay, Bryan really is taking the place of Becky right now because he's the only baby face in this, and he has the fan support. And then you have Reigns is kind of like Charlotte, like the dominant one of like, this is I know.
So this is WrestleMania 30 all over again.
Yeah.
This is Batista, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, two heels and a baby face.
Yes. See? But then you have Reigns taking like Charlotte's place, like this is my house, I'm the dominant one, I'm the champion. And then Edge is Ronda just trying to like do something spectacular. So I'm gonna just go with Reigns pinning Bryan because I don't know. Sorry, Bryan. I'm wearing my Bryan beanie. I'm gonna
go just because I want to go off the track here. I'm gonna pick Edge pinning Daniel Bryan because I want to have fun with this. I think Edge is gonna pin Daniel Bryan, and Edge is gonna be champion for like a month, and then Roman's gonna win it back at the next pay-per-view.
Well, actually, the day that this match is, so it's night 2. That's the day Edge retired. To the day.
So I'm picking Edge pinning Daniel Bryan. Guarantee. I'm picking that's gonna happen. Edge is gonna win. Edge is gonna win the Universal Championship. I guarantee. For Roman to retain on night 2, where people are expecting something big to happen at the end of night 2. So it's got to be either Edge or Daniel Bryan winning here. I'm gonna pick Edge over Daniel Bryan.
I feel like Bill's just gonna say something to me on Wednesday to make me change my mind.
Picking Edge.
You're picking
Canadian.
Edge. Oh, that's the only reason why, because he's from Canada.
Yeah, that's not the only reason why. I just logically. You're Kimmy, picture yourself going to WrestleMania both nights, right? You get to the end of night 2. Wouldn't you want something crazy to happen instead of Reigns retaining? Like you're leaving the arena and going like, oh, cool, Reigns retain.
Well, yes, but my expectations for this WrestleMania are already all the way down here.
Question: the Money in the Bank briefcase has already been.
That's in May. Right? Yes, it has.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes.
There's no chance to cash in. So
no, Miz cashed in to win, and that's how Bobby won the title. Bobby beat Miz.
So
no one's pulling a Rollins.
So Edge is winning. Edge is gonna pin Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Because Roman can't take the pin because they built him up way too much to take the pin. So Edge is gonna win. Or DB, maybe DB pins Edge. Again, it's one of those, but I'm going to pick Edge. 100% picking Edge. And it's also, it's good that he's Canadian.
Canada.
Love my Canadian boys. There's so many in wrestling right now. I love it. Kevin Owens, Edge, Christian, Ethan Page, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho. Like there's so many.
You forgot your boy. Your boy?
Sean Spears. Yeah, Sean Spears. Eva Uno and Stu Grayson.
He did. Wow. At least if Rollins was from like, if I was from Canada,
I was getting there, but we were talking about like WWE, so obviously.
Yeah, but I would have always said Rollins first.
Ty Dillinger. Yeah.
His wife is not on the WrestleMania card.
She's another one that's on the way out soon.
She should follow him.
She probably will.
Good.
They both live in Florida. It only makes sense.
Tell us about the All Elite Pod, amigo.
What is that?
I don't know.
Okay. The All Elite Pod is actually where myself and my co-host Tiffany from New York, we have a podcast talking about AEW. Basically it's fan discussions. We talk about everything in AEW. We talk about BTE, Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, anything that has to do with AEW, we discuss it in the podcast. We love fan interactions on the podcast. So we love, Kimmy's been in our live chat. We love
Kyle loves when I just yell at him in the chat.
You among other people yelling at me in the chat. That seems to be the thing to do in our live chats now is people yelling at me. So if you guys want to come have a fun time and yell at me in the live chats like Kimmy over here, just come over to our live chats. We're live on YouTube. We're on Twitch if you like the Twitch thing. Facebook Live. Tiffany shares it everywhere on Facebook Live, so you guys can go and watch it on Facebook Live. We have a Twitter page or a Facebook page on there. We're also live on. For now, we're live on Twitter as well, but I heard they're getting rid of Periscope, so maybe not for long. But we're live each and every single Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want to go over to YouTube, type in the No Holds Barred Network. Or if you're an audio podcast listener, you type in the No Holds Barred Network, you'll find the All Elite Podcast. We actually have other cool podcasts on the network that Tiff does. She interviews a lot of independent stars that you never know will become. She's interviewed guys like Chris Bay, who's in Impact now. She's interviewed Alex Zayn, who's been signed to NXT. She's interviewed a lot of people that are now moved on to bigger and better things. So it's a cool thing to catch and, learn about their history and all that stuff and how they grew up and all that. And she also she goes to independent to companies as well. She likes to talk about it. So she has a show called Indie Talks on there, and it's just a fun network. But yeah, All Elite Podcast every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
I've been on there.
Kimmy's been on there. Yes, she was part of our Revolution review panel. So thank you, Kimmy, for that.
And I'm just going to say, ready? So you got that sponsorship call after I was on the podcast.
It only makes sense that Manscaped started calling after Kimmy was in the podcast. It was hand in hand, I guess. No,
I'm just saying it's because of me you got a sponsorship. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Kimmy. I'm going to applaud you.
That's our WrestleMania predictions. Thanks for coming out of WWE retirement for me, friends.
Just for you, Kimmy. I'll come out of WWE retirement, talk a little bit about WWE.
Again, I
effectively had to wear my Bullet Club shirt.
I'm biased.
Everyone, there's no problem with that.
I swear Kyle always doesn't hate me, even though it may seem. Make sure to like this video, comment your own WrestleMania predictions, click that bell for notifications, and subscribe. And also, well, I'll enter this part in the beginning, the new intro video and logo was designed by Kyle!
Sort of. I had help, but I designed it. Yes, the logo is on me.
Thank you, Kyle and Tiff, for my COVID gift.
Yes, you're welcome. We felt bad, and we wanted to cheer you up. You're going through a rough patch. So I'm like, let's make her a logo. So I had me and Tiff come on a Zoom call, and we designed a logo together for you.
The best of friends. The internet wrestling community does wonders. But enjoy WrestleMania, and I'll see you all tomorrow for my SmackDown review because we're filming this Friday. Adios, amigos.